up on the bus, we're leaving right now and I won't make a fuss. Man, punch my ticket, we're leaving just now. Next stop is Heiferberg, and to the cows. Moo, cows say moo. They look funny, but they sure taste good. Old man Grumpy come down on the farm, old man Grumpy in the big red barn. Howdy folks, this is your old cowboy singing wrestler coming to you today with a guitar painting project. Not this guitar, this is a store-bought guitar, but it sure is in tune and it sure does sound pretty. So,
from the ocean's unfathomable depths, a gigantic man-like creature appears.
Before I unveil this project, I have to give you some background information. I was thinking, I got a guitar and I wanted to paint a painting on it. It's a classical guitar, so you start to think and you wonder to yourself, what can I put on a classical guitar that makes sense? Something classical, something classic, because it's a classical guitar, right? So, with that in mind, I'm thinking, classic. What could be classic that would work? Classic monster movies. Classic Japanese monster movies.
The fiery depths of the earth comes a prehistoric mastodon of destruction.
So I chose Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Never before has the screen known such heart-stopping terror.
Now just let me play a riff here for you.
Frankenstein, with the strength of 1,000 men.
Now I was working on this piece. I did some research and Frankenstein Conquers the World, which I've probably seen 2 or 3 times, but what's neat about this guitar is a couple things. Like, I put characters on it, people that are in the movie on it, like these are the stars. Giant Frankenstein fighting this giant lizard. Now, this lizard, I found a couple of stills, but this one still, I found this lizard, like the enemy. Like, this is the giant Frankenstein has to fight this creature here. Now look at this. That looks like a really ugly pug dog. And I know, because Hoover the Wonder Pug's my dog. And they look just like this, but without a horn and floppy ears, and they aren't as slimy. Guitar, like on the sides of the guitar, I've written the names of, like, the director and the producer is the head writer. You know, I'm reading all these names, like, and forgive me, like Hishiro Honda, Tomo Yukai Tonkankana.
And every man's need for affection that makes him a willing captive.
The chain hurt you.
And, well, so there's all these Japanese names, but then you get to, like, the producer, Henry J. Saperstein, and then the head writers, Ruben Berkovich. Ruben Berkovich wrote this. Now, see, I always attributed these really great, wacky Japanese monster movies to, like, the Japanese mind. But I realized, well, they stuck a star in here, Nick Adams, whoever that guy is. I guess I could have looked him up. But oh, he also starred in other popular films, The Invasion of the Astro Monster, and so I know they try to find ways to Americanize these, but I understand, like, putting American people in them at the time. That makes sense, but why would they hire Ruben Berkovich to write this movie? Like, because you won't know if you look at this and you just wondered what was going on here. Like, I've got a heart. This says Frankenstein Conquers the World. That's the name of the movie. Toho Films. It's Toho Productions, but production was like too dry, too long a word, so films. That's a heart right there in the middle. Well, that comes from this, the plot. It's like the first couple sentences here. The prologue is set in World War II. The Nazis break into the laboratory of Dr. Reisendorf and confiscate the heart of the Frankenstein monster, on which he is busy experimenting.
The horrifying touch of a severed hand with a life of its own.
So that's the heart of the Frankenstein monster. Now this is the plot. Nazis travel by submarine to the Pacific. The Allied forces then bomb their submarine, but not before the Nazis pass the heart to the Imperial Japanese Navy. Now this is pretty interesting for 1965 that they're, dealing with that. Well, I guess after your country is like bombed into rubble, they take it back to Hiroshima to experiment on it. And then I got to go to the next page of explanation, which is here. And so what happens is they get this savage boy that's running rampant, and they catch him. He's like eating animals and crap, and they eat him. Well, they don't eat him. They catch him, and they do something. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on. But when I got down here, it was interesting. Like on the back of this guitar, it said, Frankenstein needs meat. Well,
the terrifying force of a monster that dwarfs man's tallest structures.
Some like running theme in this movie that I've forgotten about, where when he's a boy, eats meat, and I don't know, they stick this heart in a boy or something. Anyway, somehow he grows to be like giant, like because of all this protein he's eating. So now
I'd have to cut off a leg or an arm.
Doctors, I won't let you conduct this test.
Now he's like not just eating like a rat or a squirrel, he's eating like cows, I guess. And the scientists somewhere in this movie say he's full of this like radioactive protein, so they want to like cut his body part off. And I don't know which body part they cut off, but they figured it would grow back longer and bigger and harder somehow. So
I'd have to cut off a leg or an arm.
Wait a minute, it wouldn't be. It would be giacetoid. He's a giacetoid monster that ravages the land. You can take your classical music buddies back to your apartment full of German minimalist furniture and fresh flowers and treat them to showing on your widescreen television set of Frankenstein Conquers the World. Break out the Budweiser, have a party, you be the man. Well, that was the point of this, because I just hate to give a guitar away. The market's weak now. If I sold this $5,000 guitar on eBay, I'd probably have to take $3,500 for it. So I figured if I painted it, I would get maybe $7,500. The times are really tough, folks. So I hope you understand and step up to the plate, and you can play this at your next concert down at the concert hall with all your classical music buddies. I love Japanese monster movies. I think they're amazing, and some I love more than others, but all of them are just, I just can't, I just don't know what to say, because they're just so wonderful. They just make me cry, tear up sometimes when the monsters get killed.
Well, I feel he's very important from a scientific point of view.